What's going on YouTube? Q back here again with another video for you. Today's video, I'm about to show you all the art of downshifting. So downshifting, if you have a manual, I have a manual, is an integral part of driving the manual, not just for racing, but for normal driving too. So I'm going to explain the reasons in just a sec. Actually, let's get to it right now. But before I do, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, hit the bell, browse the channel. Let's jump into it. Downshifting. So this is something that I use on a day-to-day basis. What is downshifting exactly? So downshifting is nothing more than keeping the RPMs in the power band, or just shifting to the right point to where you don't bog the engine down by not having enough RPMs. So downshifting, there's a right and a wrong way to do it. You can money shift. What is money shifting? That's when you downshift to the wrong gear. Like say if you're in fourth gear and you downshift in the first gear, you're probably going to blow your engine and transmission even more doing that. So the thing what you want to do with downshifting, you want to downshift into the power band or just to another gear to where you have not too much RPM going into it, because you can lose control depending on the car. Like the safety nannies like traction control and ESC, that'll keep this car pretty much safe. And they have other protection systems so you don't money shift. Some cars you can just straight up, that's why they call it a money shift, because you will basically be spending a lot of money. But this car has some features to where you won't do that. But definitely you want to downshift into the power band. Say if I'm just cruising in fourth gear and I need more power because I want to, there's a saying, drop a gear, disappear, downshifting, that's what you're doing. So you want to get more power. Say if you're at like 2,000 RPM just cruising in fourth, and somebody like a Mustang pulls up on the side of you and gives you the nod, you want to go for some, you downshift in the third gear. Or you can downshift from fourth to third to second, or you can just do fourth to second. It's smoother when you do fourth to third to second. It takes more skill to go from fourth to second because you will have to blip the throttle, and I'll explain that. Actually, let me show you all right now what blipping the throttle is. If you don't know what a manual is, by the time you see my channel, check out some of my older videos. I teach how to drive a manual, and it helps with shoes that are flexible. Get you some shoes that's got some flex to it, because these are really flexible. Driving in basketball shoes in the manual is more challenging because they tend to be more stiff, but like some running shoes or some loafers, these are super flexible. They're basically like being barefoot. So we got our 3 pedals: gas, brake, clutch. When you downshift, the thing that you want to do, clutch in. Oh crap, I'm rolling, so I gotta hit the brakes, turn my e-brake on. So you basically clutch in and then change the gear. So I'm not moving. So let's say I'm in fourth gear, like I was saying. You want to look at the dials. So say you want to clutch in, go from fourth to third. And if you want to go to second, clutch in, go from third to second. And when shifting gears, like especially downshifting, I know you can be really fast, but especially for a beginner, I recommend like just the gear will go back to neutral naturally. That's dead center is the middle. Like if you go straight up, that's third, straight back, that's fourth. So what you want to do is when you downshift, say if I want to go from fourth to second, in fourth gear, clutch in, let it, I'm still holding the clutch in, let it go back to the neutral position, and then go over the second gear. It's just easier to do it that way, because you can sometimes mess up, like especially a third to second gear. Maybe you'll go from third to fourth, not recognizing what you're doing. You're trying to accelerate, but now you're bogging the engine along because you're in too high of a gear. You meant to go to a lower gear. So just let it go in the natural position and then do it. And as you get more comfortable, you'll get faster with it, and each shifter is different. So to do there's different kinds of there's levels to downshifting. You have a downshift rev match, which is what I always do, and it comes with practice too. So I like to practice when the engine is off. So you clutch in, and what you want to do is blip the throttle. Well, that was to the floor, but like tap it. Depending on what car you in, like you might need to blip it a little longer. It's more like a blip instead of a blip. But if you got a car like this in track mode, it'll rev fast, or like high revving engines tend to rev up fast. So you want to clutch in. Let's say I'm in fourth and want to go to third. Clutch in, blip it, hit it to third, clutch out. So it's just boop. And in higher gear, say if I'm like going from sixth to fifth, which is, it happens. So if I'm on the downshift to fifth, a rev match downshift, I'm going to clutch in, fifth, blip, clutch out. And the higher the gear you're in, you can release the clutch faster without feeling the repercussions of the lurching, and like when you're in lower gears, the car will jerk forward more violently, but you'll get smoother at it. So like say if you're going from third to second, this is the prime gear, because you really don't want to downshift in the first. You can, but that would be at like really low speeds, but it's recommended to not do that because you could mess some stuff up with the transmission doing that. So from third to second, clutch in, go to second, blip, that's it. Now let me do it how I would normally do it, a rev match downshift. So we're in third gear, just cruising along like, oh, I see a Challenger on the side of me. So drop a gear and disappear. So boop, that's it. It's all in that motion. So do that again. Third gear, just cruising along, getting 14 miles a gallon, minding my business. Mustang, it's time to give them some. Boop. That's it. That's the actual, that's how I would move when actually doing it. So now let's actually get some point of view video of me doing it. So I'm gonna show you actual applications where you would do it just in normal driving, or when you want to get on it. So let me throw the GoPro on. All right, I need gas. Ignore that. So when do you want to downshift? I'm about to show you all coming up to this next stop sign. All right, so let me hurry up, go from first to second to third. Now you see the RPM. Watch the floor. The car's not going. I want to drop it down to second. You see the car is much more eager to go. So also there's an easy way. This is Rev Match. You flip these pedal switches. On the manual, those aren't gear selectors. It's the auto Rev Match shifter. And you can tell that it's on when these numbers turn yellow. When it's off, they're white. So I'll demonstrate that later on. But about to pull out of here. First gear, second gear, clutch in third gear. I'm about to turn, so it's good practice. I know I'm going to be slowing down, so I'm going to do that auto rev. Well, not auto. Clutch in. I'm going to do a downshift, lift the throttle. I'm in second gear. Complete my turn. That's it. I have a bad habit of doing that in the middle of the turn. It's better to do it before you get to the turn, so you can just auto rev match. Not auto rev match. Why do I keep saying that? You can downshift rev match into the turn and maintain better power if you need it. So that's something to do. Like you want to downshift when coming to like stop signs and red lights, because if you know you're going to stop, then there's no point of staying in that same gear. But if you're unsure, like so coming to the stop sign, I don't need to downshift to second, to third, to first or whatever. I just want to clutch in, go to neutral. That's all I need to do, because I know I'm not about to end up rolling through. If it were a red light, then I could downshift in the second, because it might turn green, it might not, who knows. All right, let me show you all passing power when getting on the highway. 4th gear. Once I make sure I can get it on clear, I'm going to downshift in the 3rd. Downshift rev match. Check over my shoulder. Traffic. Need the downshift. Can do it in the 2nd too. If I really want to go. Now say if I want to shoot for that hole right there, I'm in 2nd gear. Gear, coming off on the exit, I want to maintain my power. Downshift rev match in the 3rd gear. Clutch in, slowly release off the clutch, my power. What if I want to do some more damage out here? What if this isn't fast enough? Clutch in, 2nd, blip, and I can drop a gear, disappear like they say. That's all it is to it. Clutch in, drop down, blip, slowly release the clutch. That is how you downshift rev match. Alright, going in the 3rd. Will I be able to make this light? I don't know. So let me drop the 2nd in case it turns green. It didn't. That's when you want to downshift. And let me show you all what downshifting looks like when you don't do the rev match. You can do it, but it's just unnecessary wear and tear on the trans. You don't want to do that. Like my dad, he does that. I hope not. Oh, you about to stall it already. I told you can't be doing that. Don't you do that. Yeah. You better slow down. This car will take off.
Yeah, you can't do it. Don't worry about this. Nah. This is what I need right here. This is the one I need.
I told you this car wild. You better go to neutral before it cut off on you.
I ain't gotta go to neutral. Let me drive it in.
Yeah, you gotta know what you're doing. You can't be.
I'm driving. I ain't gotta go to neutral right now.
You be about to stall. Huh? I don't know, 5 stalls. And that's why I don't like him driving my car. Cause it's premature. It's useless wear and tear on the trans and clutch. So that's why you want to blip it. But as soon as I get through, I'll show you all what it does. All right, so I'm gonna go to 4th to 3rd without rev matching. I'm just gonna clutch in and downshift without the blip of the accelerator. So it'll be less wear than going from 3rd to 2nd. So in 4th, clutch in, shift to 3rd with no blip. You see how my head lurks forward? Let's see what it'll look like going down in the 2nd without doing that. Yeah, you see the RPM just drop down and it'll go back up. So what you want the RPM to do in downshifting, you want it to be in like the same spot where it left off. Cause like if I go from 3rd to 2nd again, it'll probably be like 2,500 to 3,000 RPM when I downshift. So yeah, it's like closer to 2,500. So when downshift rev matching, you want to go from you want to blip to throttle to where when you release the clutch, it's at that 2,500. So 3rd, go down to 2nd. And it's already in the power band. It didn't drop. Now let me show you all the same thing. Oops, I didn't need to do that. Show you all the same thing with auto rev match. This makes it's a machine. And it kind of takes away from it being a manual, but it's useful, especially when learning and gets you comfortable. So 3rd, once you clutch in, it just does it for you really quick. I can't do it that fast. I can do it almost as fast, and it's more satisfying when I do. Let me try it real quick. It's more satisfying for me. It's like that Gears of War when you get that perfect shift when you do that speed reload. That's just what it's like. So I recommend doing this while the car is off, so you don't like wear out the actual RPMs and things. So just to where you can get the feel of it. Like if you know how to drive a manual, look at this guy. Just when you drop it and disappear. Trying to go down. your opposition. And I just downshifted and I forgot, because it's natural to me. Like, I don't even think about it anymore. It was rough at first, I can't lie. It was very difficult. I wasn't smooth at all. It was herky-jerky. It took me too long to blip. My blip was more like a blob. But yeah, when you first do it, it'll be, if you're not just a natural at it, it'll be more like a, I still didn't do it because I'm just so used to doing it the right way. Don't do it going down in the first. I don't recommend that. And some cars are just way more difficult to do it in. But get to know your car. I'm real comfortable with the Camaro, so quite good at it. It's a really good car to do it on too. Like, other cars aren't as smooth. The Mustang is good too. The Hellcat too. So when I first started off, it was more like, and you'll get better. Drop a gear. That supercharger whine when you get up in RPM. All right, let's do one from, I'm just gonna go from 5th all the way down. From 5th, oops, that was 5th to 2nd. I screwed that one up trying to go too fast. That's what I mean, just let it go to the neutral position. 5th, 4th, I didn't blip it. 3rd, 2nd. And this is a practice thing. I can tell you all day, but actually practicing in the manual, that's how you get better. So if you have a manual, just try doing it. I didn't do this until years after I learned how to drive a manual. I didn't even know this was a technique. But you can tell something feels right when you downshift without doing it. But just keep practicing, you'll get better at it. And I would do it when people weren't behind me, when I had space. But yeah, that's how you do it.
I hope you all enjoyed today's video. Hope you learned something. Hope I encourage you to get out and try something new. Shout out to Blueprint 1LE. He uses auto rev match, but I understand from his point of view. Like, I tease him in person, but it takes some getting used to, and with practice you'll get better, I promise. But auto rev match, I use it sometimes too, definitely when I'm in traffic and I have to downshift in the first, something that may or may not be safe depending on the car you have, but it definitely helps out. So shout out to him. Go check out his channel, go subscribe. So I'm gonna leave you all with that today. Let me know what you think. If I missed any tips, let me know in the comment section down below. So it's Q checking out. Like, comment, subscribe, hit the bell, browse the channel, and I'll see you all in the next video. Peace out.